it's your kind. Picking me into only your thing when it costs someone else's time. So you think that you're coy, but it's clearly an act of guilt. Oh, it's hard not to see the truth when I'm cleaning up the mess you're spilling. You think that we do not see what you do. You make me sick to my stomach. Oh,
This had such stellar production design. I was blown away. I want them to design my life. There was such cool, bold, hyperpigmented color scheme. And it was both fantastical, but it even heightened that fantasy to a more interesting place by the juxtaposition of the more grotesque elements. The flies, the crude technology, the strange foods that did not look at all appetizing, the bleeding makeup added to the level of unpredictability and cut through any layers of preciousness that might have been there. It just had that, and also it cut through the music video kind of veneer and the polish of that to be something more interesting. But yeah, that grotesque nature to it all, I thought was made for a perfect balance.
And it is one bizarre dinner party. It is a feast for the eyes. It's creepy at the same time. The use of the fake food and then the flies on it and the images of faces looking through walls and wallpaper and CGI mannequins dancing interspersed with real dancers. It is a haunting piece, and girl, you're gonna get what you deserve is the refrain of the awesome soundtrack behind it. The song behind it is very effective. It seems like a story of unrequited love or loss, but it is a gorgeous film and so creative. And some of that food looks really edible until you see the flies. It really gives you a visceral feeling. It's an excellent film. Well done.
Was so intrigued by this. I thought they played with colors so much, and it was such vibrant colors, which you don't always see as much, or I would say you don't always see as much nowadays, but you also don't see, like, to a certain extent, they did have some other pops like pinks and some yellows and stuff, but there was a lot of things that were kind of in that lime green, which goes almost into like that vibrant yellow color spectrum, and they kind of, played with the almost like monochromatic color there, with, like I said, like dashes of bright pink, which I just thought visually was really interesting. And then in general, the entire video I just thought was really well edited. I thought the concept and what it seemed like they were trying to pull off, they executed really well. It definitely kept me intrigued and engaged the entire song, so I think that's always a win.
Dreamy in its very use of elegant and compelling colors. Director and editor Mack Neaton and production designer Hannah Hansen helped to attain Carlile's vision, realizing that colors can help define mood and influence response, not just through marketing but also emotionally. I think the colors were their most compelling when they were applied through makeup, and for that I would like to credit Shireen Mohi, if I pronounced that name correctly. The story itself, while very discombobulating, but I don't know of a music video which isn't, it involves a story of a possessed person coming to grips with the elusive spirit that is trying to maintain his soul, and that became most poignant to me by the prevalent flies that were always buzzing through and sort of distracting us. But it was the use of Hannah Hansen's color design scheme and the brilliant cinematography that made this a very enjoyable music video to watch. In fact, it gets more interesting the more times you watch it, which is the most successful music video I think you can compose.
Beautifully done music video. The color palette is absolutely entrancing, and the subject matter of the song in itself seems to certainly be about retribution on some level, not so much revenge, but are you going to get what you deserve? And I think it's interesting that the makeup at certain points for the performers looks clown-esque, and I wondered if that might be a statement further on, don't think you're making a fool of me, kind of be some kind of connection to the lyrical content of the piece itself. But in a time when, music videos are maybe not as popular as they once were, it is really nice to see ones that are so visually striking and as attention grabbing as the songs themselves. And I think this really succeeds in that. It really complements the music that it is telling the story of.
Right off the bat, I really enjoyed the bright, colorful tones that was happening. I could tell it was going to be a really cool theme that was happening. The food stylist did an amazing job with all of the cakes and gelatinous desserts a la 1950s. The makeup artist did an incredible job with all of the performers. The digital effects were really fun to watch, and overall, you can tell that this was a really creative labor of love, and it seemed like it was really fun to shoot, and it was really fun to watch. I think everybody did a great job. The song was great. Just overall, very creative, very stylistic, and you could tell that there was a lot of intention put into it, and I think that they pulled it off.
I thought this one was really well done. Just absolutely great choices all around when it came to the costumes, the makeup, even the hair. There was just a lot of great choices that really lent themselves to, I guess, the sort of the vibe I feel like this video is going for. They just do a really good job at presenting all that, and I mean, it's shot really well too. It's got a really polished feel to it. It's definitely worth checking out.